Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Clean 8-Bit. This episode is part of a series I like to call PC Flipping for Money. And you already guessed from the title of this video, because you're all smart, that I'll be flipping this, my brother's old dusty gaming PC. Now, we recently built a new PC for him, and when I say we, I mean I did most of the work and he just watched me do it, and so he won't be using this relic anymore. I asked him what he was planning to do with this old PC, and he said that he was just gonna throw it away because he didn't think it was worth the trouble to try to sell it. I told him that we could still salvage a lot of the components and make a new PC with them. So I offered to take it apart, clean all the components, buy a new case, and list it all for sale on Facebook Marketplace. But I was not about to do more work for free, so we agreed to go 50-50 on the money we get for it. He used this PC daily for gaming, so I know for a fact that all of the parts work. However, the parts are old and some of them will need replacing, especially the case. This NCXT white case, I don't even know what model it was, but it has seen better days. I don't know how many years he's had this thing, but you can tell that this thing has suffered some abuse and that it has been dropped more than once. And I never understood why people put the stickers on their computers, but let me tell you, it doesn't look good. Now, I know my brother, and I know that he doesn't like to clean his PC that regularly, so I was already prepared to finding a lot of dust. But boy oh boy, I was not prepared. This has to have been the dirtiest computer I've ever cleaned. I didn't even want to clean it indoors, so I grabbed the thing, took it outside, grabbed my pair of Uno, and went to town. And man, I swear to you, I started to wonder just how many years of testicle dust had accumulated inside this case. It was just plain disgusting. What is interesting to note is that most of the dust had accumulated around the power supply. So I'm thinking that when my brother did clean this computer, maybe he just cleaned the surface and the things that he could reach, but maybe he never took the power supply and gave it a good blow off, because that thing was just clogged. And I honestly don't know why it took so much time cleaning the case, even though I was not gonna reuse it. Now, my brother was using this PC with an RTX 3060, but he ended up keeping that GPU for his new build. However, he did have a 1070 laying around that he was never able to sell, so he told me that I could have that to put it in the new build. So that is the GPU that you see here. He hadn't even taken off the stickers of this thing, so it was pretty brand new. But as you guessed it, it was also very dusty. The power supply that I was working with, it's the EVGA Next 750B, a 750 watt power supply. It is a semi-modular power supply, and it's not a bad power supply even though it's just bronze rated. It's just old and it was very dusty, but after cleaning it up, I gotta say it doesn't look too bad. He was using the stock cooler that came with his AMD CPU, which I mean, it's not the best cooling solution, but it does the job. He was using the AMD Ryzen 5 3600X, which I think that is still a pretty good CPU for gaming. Now, the coolest component I think I took out of his build was this motherboard. It is the MSI SPG X570 Gaming Plus. And not only does it look cool, but I also love that it has that tiny fan to cool off the chipset. As for the RAM, we are working with 16 gigabytes here, and this is DDR4. We got the XPG ADATA. For storage, he had a 1 terabyte hard drive, and also he gave me a 128 gigabyte SSD that we can use to put the operating system in this PC. Okay, and here we have all of the components that I was able to salvage and take out, clean, and that we're going to be reusing for the new computer. Now into the fun part. We get to build a new PC. For the case, I decided to go with the Montech HR ATX mid-tower PC gaming case. Now, I've never used Montech products before, but I've seen a lot of good reviews, and I definitely like the style of this case. And what I love the most, that it includes 3 120mm ARGB fans. And as of recording of this video, you can buy this case for $63.90 on Amazon. And that is just a steal. One of the most important things, for the love of God, don't forget your IO shield. Get that thing in there before you start anything else. I got to say that this motherboard with the red and black and white looks really good in this all white PC case. With a little bit of magic, let's get the screws popping. I mean, I'm really digging this red on white. What do you guys think? Do you like this color combination? Let me know in the comments down below. A little bit of thermal paste goes a long way. Just look how clean and shiny this thing ended up. It looks pretty much brand new. Now I know that the power supply still looks a little dusty, but trust me, it's way better than how it was before. Now a little tip when installing a power supply, you can just put one screw on the power supply and that one you can just slide in so that one screw can help you support the power supply as you work your way for the next 3. Now in this case you got 2 options to mount your SSD. You have this little tray here right above the power supply, or you can also grab it and put it on this trout where you can also mount your hard drive. And that's what I'm going to be doing so that both of them stay together and I only have to use one of the SATA cables from the power supply. I'm also going to be using this graphics card GPU support bracket. I found this one for $6.99 in Amazon. For some reason this graphics card sags a lot, so this is going to prevent that from happening any longer. And as always, I'm going to have links for these items down below. Now for the moment of truth. Let's see if this thing powers up. Nice. I'm not saying this just because I built the PC, but it ended up looking pretty sexy. I ended up installing Windows 11 on this computer, and it was time to do some benchmarks so I can put them on the ad on the Facebook Marketplace. He ended up getting a TimeSpy score of 5,954. I was very specific in the ad, stating how this is not a 4K or 1440p machine, but more of a 1080p gaming PC. These are all the images that I took and that I placed on the ad with all of the specs, and it didn't sell right away. It took a couple of weeks, but after that, voila, success. Finally, we're able to sell it for $495. Obviously, you will have to subtract the $70 that I spent on the case and the GPU support, but that's not too bad. At least we ended up making some money out of it instead of just throwing it in the trash like my brother wanted to, and somebody ended up with a sweet PC. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you like this new series. If you do, don't forget to like, and if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to clean 8-bit.